What's up, guys? Back for another video with only a few days left before Jade and Argenti leave. Obviously, we gotta talk about the first rerun of HuoHuo. Now, HuoHuo is an excellent healer, and I actually summoned for her the first time around. So, obviously, gotta make a video, and I get to have my own personal experience with her. So that's always a big W. So first things first, let's go over her kit. Team she works well with, and I'll give you my should you summon or not. Now, HuoHuo is a Wind Abundance 5-star character. Big W there. Definitely need more wind characters in the game. Feels like we definitely have a small amount of them. Luckily, with the new character Fixio, I believe her name is, we're getting some more wind characters. So, I mean, hey, you know, back-to-back win, W, right? Anyway. Basic attack, pretty basic, deals wind damage equal to 50% of HuoHuo's max HP to a target enemy. Now this is cool and all that it's HP scaling, not attack scaling like some of the older healers. It's still going to do like 20 damage, but I mean, hey, at least it scales with a stat that she'll actually use, right? Then her skill dispels one debuff from a single target ally and immediately restores this ally's HP by an amount equal to 20% of HuoHuo's max HP plus 560. At the same time, restores HP for all allies that are adjacent to this target ally by the amount equal to 16.8% of HuoHuo's max HP plus 448. Now, from personal experience, this skill, even at low trace level, because my HuoHuo was like 6, I think, for the longest time, pretty much what this would do would dispel a debuff on whoever I targeted and then just full heal the characters next to it and the person I use the skill on, at least most of the time, unless they're like 1 HP kind of thing, then it probably won't heal them in full. But this heal is very strong as long as you build your HuoHuo correctly. Then her ultimate, very strong by the way, regenerates energy for all allies excluding this character by an amount equal to 20% of the respective max energy. At the same time, increase their attack by 40% for 2 turns. This is very good because not only does it work for units who scale off attacks, such as the dot units, and funny enough, Yun Li, who's about to come out, but the energy is pretty much as good for everybody. So you could run her in teams that aren't going to use the attack boost that much, which should be just about every character, so it's not like we're going to run into that too much, but you can also bank off just the pure energy. And even if you're running her for teams like Acheron can still use the attack, and then the rest of the team can use the energy, so it's just overall a very strong ultimate. There's been so many times where I'll ult, and then I will get ultimate from HuoHuo's ult, and then thanks to that ult, I get a cycle in, or I wouldn't say I'd zero cycle every single time, right? But I'll definitely save a cycle sometimes just because of that, which is very cool. It's not going to apply to a lot of people, but it can help in the long run to have this ult ready to go and pop it when you need it. Especially if you pair it with a ultimate such as like Aventurines, even E1, or maybe Fushwan's. I don't know why everybody on the same team, but this is like a hypothetical, right? You could pop it to pop a different ult to maybe save you from death, depending on who you're running HuoHuo with. Like I said, hypothetical if you're using Fushwan, but it's just, you get the idea, right? You need some healing, or you need a shield from like Jeopard, or let's say you need to do a bit of damage to break the enemy so the attack won't hit, right? Whatever it may be, the ultimate giving energy is very nice. Then we go to the talent. After using her skill, HuoHuo gains Divine Provision, lasting for 2 turns. The duration decreases by 1 turn at the start of HuoHuo's every turn. If HuoHuo has Divine Provision when an ally's turn starts, or when an ally uses their ultimate, restores HP for that ally by an amount equal to 4.5% of HuoHuo's max HP plus 120. At the same time, every ally with 50% HP or lower receives healing once. When Divine Provision is triggered to heal an ally, dispel 1 debuff from the ally. This effect can be triggered up to 6 times. Using the skill again resets the effect triggered count. Very strong. So what you can do is you could skill, right? And let's just say you have your team positioned to where one character wouldn't get a heal. As long as you just use their ult, you're pretty much good to go. This heal isn't insane, but it is good enough to cause them to live a few hits that they otherwise wouldn't. So very strong buff in her talent. Plus the Dispel debuff art is so nice. HuoHuo just heals so much and gets rid of a bunch of debuffs. Plus giving energy and attack, very nice healer. Then the technique, HuoHuo terrorize the surrounding enemies, inflicting the horror struck on them. Enemies in horror struck will flee from HuoHuo for 10 seconds. When entering battle with enemies in horror struck, there is a 100% base chance to reduce every single enemy's attack by 25% for 2 turns. So starts them out with a level attack debuff, so you don't get hit as hard. Kind of nice, right? Then the bonus traces where her talent is triggered to heal allies. HuoHuo regenerates 1 energy. Then the chance to resist crowd control debuffs increases by 35%. And the last one is when battle starts, HuoHuo gains Divine Provision, lasting for 1 turn. Now, she could definitely have better ones, right? Like, the energy is cool. I've definitely gotten ult from it a few times. Just like, a character uses an ult, and then I look over and HuoHuo suddenly has your ult. Not like an insane amount, but I have seen it before. So I guess that is helpful. The crowd control debuff one is nice because HuoHuo gets debuffed herself. It's kind of just an L, right? But otherwise, she doesn't have anything too crazy trace-wise. Then her stat traces are 28% HP, 18% effective res, and the 5 speed is pretty cool just to, get her to that 135 speed that everyone likes to be at. Right? Now, dupes. Duration of Divine Protection by the talent extended by 1 turn when HuoHuo possesses Divine Protection. All ally speed increases by 12%. This one is kind of nasty, I'm not going to lie. I was thinking about getting this for my dot team, but at the time I wasn't really down for spending like that, so I was like, whatever, right? But the speed is very cool. And then at E2, if HuoHuo possesses Divine Provision when an ally is struck by a killing blow, the ally will not be knocked down, and their HP will immediately be restored to an amount equal to 50% of their max HP. This reduces the duration of Divine Provision by 1 turn. This effect can be triggered up to 2 times per battle, so it's just 2 free revives. Then at E4, when healing a target ally via skill or talent, the less HP the target ally currently has, the higher amount of healing they will receive. The maximum increase in the healing provided by HuoHuo is 80%. Then at E6, when healing a target ally, increases the target ally's damage dealt by 50% for 2 turns. I feel like with healers, you don't really need dupes at all, but E6 and E1 are a little bit overkill. Like, the speed is super nice, and then E6, just giving them allies 50% damage dealt for 2 turns is kind of crazy, but it's E6, so, of course it's going to be crazy. But other than that, HuoHuo is an excellent healer. For teams I run her with, I would just run her with the dot team of Kafka, Black Swan, HuoHuo, and who am I forgetting? That goes on that team? Ruin Mei, sorry. I was about to say Bronya for some reason. I mean, you could, technically, Action Advance, I guess would help, but, you'd run her, Ruin Mei, Black Swan, Kafka. You can run her with, I know people run her with Argenti to give him his ultimate. You could run her with Yunli to also help get ultimate faster, give them attack buff, help with debuffs. I don't think Yunli would need to be clones for debuffs, but I mean, hey, it's something. I definitely think HuoHuo is probably a top 3 sustain. I'd say Fushuan and Venturing are definitely better than her. However, Fushuan and Venturing don't heal, so HuoHuo is technically the best healer in the game. Yes, I know Fushuan technically heals, but yeah, I'm not going to count that. Fushuan eventually will get you killed if you just have an infinite fight, right? If you have an infinite fight that is not one-shotting you and you can heal from the HuoHuo, you're going to be good to go, right? Technically, Gallagher is also a strong contender, but I feel like HuoHuo's sustain via healing is just a lot better than Gallagher's, just because he's based on a break team that is going to make the enemy not attack too often, whereas HuoHuo is just meant to be a straight-up healer. Now, one thing I will say about HuoHuo is not having a heal on ult does kind of hurt, right? It's not the end of the world, but if you're in a scenario where a unit is about to die and you're going to pop ult to save them, unfortunately her ult's not really going to do anything. It can, however, give them ult to then be healed by her talent. But other than that, that's pretty much all you can do for a last second heal. Otherwise, if you're going to summon for HuoHuo, she pretty much just ran on dot, and then teams who need more energy. Otherwise, if you have a Venturing or Fushuan, you can just run them and pretty much get the same results. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you don't have a good sustain, I'd pick her up. If you only have one good sustain, I'd pick her up. If you are set, like you have Gallagher, Fushuan, you have Fushuan, Venturing, whatever it may be, if you have 2 sustains that you are very confident with, I'd say HuoHuo is pretty much an easy skip. I definitely see them dropping better sustains in the future. Only time will tell how good they are, but I feel like it's not going to be too hard to power creep HuoHuo, unfortunately, because at some point, really all she's going to have going for her is her ultimate. If we get an ultimate that gives energy and just has overall better healing than her, then I feel like it's just kind of a wraps. So I don't want to say HuoHuo is going to be a bad aging unit, but her kit seems pretty easy to power creep compared to some other characters, right? Like Fushuan, Obviously, I think Venturing's better than her, but her kit is very specific with what it does, and it's very unique. HuoHuo just does something, and that's it. I'm not trying to downplay this unit, but obviously we have healers in the game. It's kind of like damage dealers, right? Damage dealers at the end of the day do damage. Eventually, there's going to be a unit who does damage and is just going to do more damage than them. So if doing damage is all they do, eventually they're just going to power up, right? HuoHuo dispels debuff and heals, which is pretty basic for a healer. Luocha does it, right? Luocha got power creeped by HuoHuo because, you know, Luocha healed and then had the debuff removal, but HuoHuo healed and gave energy attack, right? So I feel like it won't be a matter of time until we get someone who's better. But I still think if you do not have a good sustain, or you're running like Lynx as one of your sustain, you definitely should upgrade with HuoHuo. She's still an excellent unit. Even if there's units who are going to eventually be better, I don't think she is a bad pickup. Obviously, if they're out, then you should summon for them instead of HuoHuo. But as of right now, I still think she's a good pickup as long as you are not fully set on sustains. But other than that, that'll be it for the video. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Let me know if you're summoning for HuoHuo, if you're summoning for the Dot team, if you're summoning just because you like the character. I actually really like Tail. Very cool character, little fox, even reminds me of the Nine-Tailed Fox. So that's why I initially summoned, even though she is good on Dot, which I use, right? But anyway, let me know in the comments, and of course, I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.